Welcome to another movie Reedview with me, Cody Reed. So today I'm going to review Spectre. It's the newest 007 movie starring Daniel Craig. It also stars others from Skyfall, like supporting characters, along with Christoph Waltz as the villain. And it continues a lot of the plot lines from these Daniel Craig Bond films. So without giving too much away, because it might spoil some things for the movie, the main gist of the movie, the plot, is that 007 has to go against this evil organization called Spectre. Basically, he has to find out who's running it, where these people are, like where they're hiding, and try to disband it. And Christoph Waltz plays the villain of Spectre, but they're trying to control like global governments, and get information and really be like world leaders, but secretly. And the rest of Bond's team, certain events are happening, and so they're not really able to contribute much. So most of the time, James Bond is doing this by himself with, the trying to help is the rest of his team. So it's kind of like recent Mission Impossible movies, except more serious, but there were like laughs here and there in this movie. Like I said, that's pretty much it for the plot. I don't want to give away too much, but it's classic Bond stuff like, ooh, the villain, they're trying to control the world, and Bond has to stop them. So, for other things, the cinematography was actually really nice. It's really shot well, like these beautiful like takes of the sceneries, and they're going to different countries, so it's shot well. It's really gorgeous to watch. Daniel Craig, I think, does a fine job again as Bond. He seems really comfortable in the role, and his style of acting, like his tone, matches the tone of the film. And then, some of the action scenes were really cool. There were a few scattered in between, but I liked the last 30 to 45 minutes how it wrapped up. The beginning really had an awesome action scene that lasted like 15 minutes or so. I don't even know, but both of those really, began and ended the film well. And that's where we get to the middle of the movie. Because it's a 2.5 hour movie, it kind of does drag. At least for me it did. It dragged out a little bit in the middle. Like I said, it kind of began well, and there were some other action pieces in the beginning, and then you get into like the middle hour of the movie, and it just kind of, as they're going from person to person to see these people and from place to place, it just kind of like drags out a little bit too long. And I'm not as invested as I was as like other movies like Casino Royale. Even when they're in the casino playing, the game of poker, I'm still invested because it was really intense, even though it wasn't like action. So the middle just kind of dragged out a little bit too much, and then it started picking up towards the end again. But now I want to talk about a few of the supporting characters, which is mostly where I had some issues with the movie. I like Mr. Hinks, played by Dave Bautista. He does really kick butt. There's sometimes he gives Bond a run for his money, but he just has like one or two lines in the movie, and so he's more of like that silent, quiet type, but he also kicks butt. So because he's not giving any dialogue, he's not really given much to do as far as like show part of his character, other than like, hey, I can kick some butt. I mean, Q is a good compliment to Bond, but he also just has like a minor role in the movie. Like, he's just there to be the tech guy, and that's pretty much it. The actress who played Miss Swan in the movie, speaking of Mission Impossible, she was in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, and I just didn't really buy her chemistry, though, with 007 in this movie. Like, it grew too quick, and she was, like, falling in love with him, but, like, it seemed like she knew him for a day or two. So I didn't really buy their chemistry. And then lastly, Christoph Waltz does a great job at the villain. He chews a lot of that scenery, and he's very like energetic when he's on screen, but he just was like absent for the first hour of the movie, and then even after that, he was absent a little bit more, and he had a lot of like tell, but no show. He told of like, oh, you've missed me all these times, and you've never found me, and I've been manipulating you, but we didn't really get to see much of that. We just hear him talk about it from the past. But getting back to the action, when there were some action sequences, those were really fun, especially the beginning, and another one that happened on the train, which was really fun to watch. And it seems to have some callbacks to the classic Bond films, which just seems like that's the direction that they're going. If you're still deciding to go out to the theater and see it, you might like it if you like the classic Bond films, even though it is a little bit long, but like, with the cars and gadgets and women and spy stuff, but also if you like the tone of some of these newer James Bond movies with Daniel Craig. So I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was good, I had a fun time, some cool action, but I just wasn't blown away with the movie. I just wish they would have like trimmed some of the fluff and made it more like quicker pace, more consistent pace, but trim the fluff, add more action maybe instead of some of that fluff, or give some more to the supporting characters. Now it's your turn. What's your favorite Bond film? I know there's quite a bit, or maybe even more specific, what's your favorite Daniel Craig Bond film? I think mine still might be Casino Royale. I just really had a fun time with that, but leave a comment below, let me know your thoughts, and like this video, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, and then lastly, you can send me some emails at moviereedviews@gmail.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Well, it's I, Sean Connery, here again, because I played James Bond 007 a long time ago, because I'm also very old, but still very sexy with the women. Now, I'll give Spectre 4 out of 5 pistols.